Hey my friends, just going to do a little update on my second ball python, and took the opportunity since Tib is engaging him like he does Sandy, and he's never tried to get to Sandy or anything, but he and Sandy, my original ball python, who is sleeping. You can barely see a little bit of color back in the log there, and resting after a meal. So let's go back over here to this guy. One reason I want to do an update is I finally got a name for him, and the scientific name for ball python, spit it out, is Python Regius or Regius, depending on how you pronounce it. It's R-E-G-I-U-S, so obviously he's Regius or Reggie. Regius, not Regis. Regius or Regius. So Regius would be the formal name, and Reggie short for that, and it's his scientific name. He's doing great. I'd like to see him eat a little bit more and a little bit more often. He's a good eater. Otherwise, he just doesn't eat as often as I would like to see him eat. But he looks better than when I first got him. You might remember I got this guy a couple months ago at Petco, and really wasn't looking to get another ball python. I was on the lookout for another reptile or another snake specifically, and every time I went in over the course of a couple of weeks, this guy was always out, and I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, a male or female, but we're just assuming that Reggie would be a good name for either sex, despite traditional sex designations for the name Reggie. So this is Reggie, everybody, and Reggie probably is ready to eat. It's been 4 or 5 days. I'm thinking 5 tonight, and it's in the afternoon already, so I'm thinking that he's probably ready to eat, and that's why he's out and about. He's been basking. This is the original setup that I got from Nathan, Sand Creek Aquatics, when I got Sandy, who's the bigger snake over here in the 40 breeder now. And Sandy's more than, I would say, tripled in size. He's getting to be a pretty big snake. So Reggie is, he's over a foot. He's probably 14 inches, something like that. And he is beefing up a little bit, but again, I would like to see him plump up. You can see where he starts to touch the substrate down there. Looks a little, his skin looks a little wrinkled to me, and then on down toward where it bends going into his tail, which, you know, is okay. I just like to see that fill out a little bit more. So yeah, I've done videos before about ball pythons, and you know, they're from Central and Western Africa. They're primarily a plains, grassy field, or even open forest snake. They're revered and taboo to kill by some of the, still to this day, by some of the African peoples. Ball pythons are thought by those peoples to play major parts in their folklore, helping them escape enemies, that kind of thing. And since they're primarily snakes that stay near the ground, they're not arboreal for the most part. Females tend to be more, I've researched, and males more stay to the ground. They relate them to the earth gods and that kind of thing. Usually during the day they're in mammal burrows. They eat rodents, they eat small birds, they'll eat other small reptiles, and they're pretty much nocturnal. They're out and about at night, and that's when they do most of their hunting and eating. My snakes, all three of them eat frozen, thawed, appropriately sized, sanitized mice that are healthy, gut loaded, and that kind of thing. So it's completely sanitary. I don't have any strong feeling against or about reptile keepers that choose to feed live. I just don't want to subject my snakes to possible injury. I've never had a mouse bite you. I had a pet mouse and a pet hamster that used to tear me up, so I don't want that happening to my snakes. Plus, I really don't want to be a part of the killing of a rodent. They're humanely euthanized before they're sanitized and frozen and that kind of stuff. So yeah, here's Reggie, and Tibby is quite taken with him, so I'm sure that they'll bond, which people kind of scoff at that, but I have videos of Tibby and Sandy here, the big one. When he was that size, he was actually about that size or maybe smaller when Nathan passed, and Chattanooga Ed and Fish from Fever James went over and got some of Nathan's fish and tanks and helped Amy break all that down. Or I think they did the breaking down generally, and I agreed to take the snake, so Sandy sent him, or Amy sent him back to me. And so he's done great since he's here, but now had outgrown this habitat that Reggie's in months and months and months ago, probably 6 months ago, and went up to that 40 breeder he's in now. So that's all I can think of to tell you about this guy. Pretty cool snake, and he has a pretty pattern. He's considered a common genetically. There are lots of morphs of snakes that are different colors, or ball pythons that are different colors and patterns, and genetics are quite exhaustive on some of those snakes, and breeding them and that kind of thing. Some people are really, really into that hobby, and they can get to be pretty expensive. This particular snake I did buy, and it came from Petco, as I said, and they were $99.99, so $100 for a ball python. And yeah, so Reggie says hello. Take care, guys. Appreciate you putting up with the snake videos. Love you.